at some of the players, because anytime I talk to some of the season ticket holders that are my friends, they're like, we want to learn more about all these fresh faces, the 9 new players that are a part of the Dallas Mavericks. And right at the top, how about Darren Collison? I had a chance to talk to his college coach, Ben Howland, and a number of things that he pointed out. He's such a coachable guy, but how much he loves the game of basketball. He's a gym rat. He was excited about his fob key and the fact that he could come over here and shoot hoops at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, Ben's a longtime friend, his college coach, and you know, when you get reports like that from people that are like family, it really hammers home that, you know, what you're seeing on the court is really, you know, what you're getting in the locker room. Those are big shoes to fill. I mean, you're talking about guys like Steve Nash and, you know, guys like Jason Kidd, and to have a young, you know, fairly young, you know, player to step into those shoes, it's a tall task, and to learn a new system, you know, 9 new faces. Well, actually, for him, it's all the faces are new. So he has done a terrific job learning on the fly. His work ethic is second to none, and the early snapshot is, you know, he's playing about as good as you can play. Stepping into those big shoes.
Another player we definitely have to highlight that has really transformed his body, his look. He spent time with the Tennessee Titans strength and conditioning coach, has added weight about, what, 10, 15 pounds, is Brandon Wright. And just seeing how he is extending his game from the outside, shooting it, putting the ball on the floor, it's really fantastic and gives you a whole new dimension in the paint.
Brandon is, when we got him, you know, we were really excited, and we were excited that we had 2 years with him because he had been injury prone. He was the 5th pick in the draft from a great program in North Carolina. He had just fallen on some difficult times. So we signed him to a 2-year deal, knowing that the first year it was going to, you know, to get him healthy and get him back and get his confidence going. And then this year he's taken it to a whole different level. He's, you know, making his shots. He's provided, you know, shot blocking for us and rebounding, but his athleticism for a man in that frame is second to none. And like you mentioned, the added weight this year is really paying off. He's our born and raised in Nashville. He's our Nashville cat, and he's playing some sweet music right now.
Only one more player that we're going to talk about, and you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And you talk about a young man that has really embraced that opportunity is Jay Crowder. Of course, his father, Corey, played in the NBA, but he has a bring-it-on mentality. He's not afraid to step in the lane and take a charge or, you know, hit that shot from outside.
Yeah, and you know, when he flips his hair like that, look out, because that's his best weapon. No, he's Jay is a guy that's come in. He has got a ready-made NBA body, and he does everything. He rebounds. He is a terrific passer. He knows how to play the game, and all of a sudden he's starting to shoot the 3 out there and making it and looking like he knows what he's doing. We had no idea. You know, usually that takes a year or 2 to really become an NBA threat at the 3, and he's doing it in the first couple of weeks, and it looks legit. So he's a guy that can also play multiple positions, and Rick's doing a great job sliding him in at the small forward. You know, in the absence of Dirk, he's had to play some power forward, and he is answering the bell no matter where Rick sticks him. So it's he's been probably the biggest surprise of the training camp in the early season.
I mentioned Jay's father, of course, played in the NBA, but what about your father? This is such a special time for the Nelson family. How does it feel to be the son of a basketball Hall of Famer?
This summer has been incredible. I mean, when you start out, you know, Dad at the tender age of 72, graduating from the University of Iowa and walking with all the kids, I mean, that was just very, very special and unique. And we all went back to the Quad Cities. That's where my mom and my dad are from, and had a chance to have a really cool family reunion. And he had to wait, whatever, 50 some odd years in order to get, you know, the diploma and turn the tassel and whatnot. And then shortly thereafter, you know, to be able to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. You know, it's a lifelong commitment that he's made from playing and then coaching. And to have that honor is just really the cherry on top.
I have to share with you that I was so touched by his Hall of Fame speech. He relived the memories of Michael Finley and Dirk and Steve Nash. But when he talked about the fact that he's had the opportunity to work with you, and he said, if you ever have an opportunity to work with your son, do it. It's a great privilege. What was going through your mind when you heard that? Yeah,
you know, look, he conducts business the same way he conducted our dinner table. And so it was an easy transition. You know, it was an honor for me. I mean, if it wasn't for my dad, not only would I not be sitting here talking to you, I'd probably be coaching high school basketball someplace. So my career I really owe to him. But the most important thing is, the life lessons, the integrity, by which, you raise your family, and for that, I'll be forever grateful.
One more quick point I want to bring up about your dad is when he was talking about his NBA career, of course, so had a terrific career at Boston, but his time in LA, he had a chance to play with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, and it made me think about when you have followed his career. I heard Jerry West give the commencement speech at West Virginia when his son played for Bobby Huggins, and he talked about that there are 3 different types of people in life. There are floaters, fleers, and fighters, and your father is a fighter. I mean, he's overcome so much, and he beat prostate cancer.
Yeah, I tell you, the latter was the toughest battle. Early on, he was cut by the Chicago Zephyrs, and then, picked up by the LA Lakers, and then he was cut by the Lakers, and, had to go back to the, Quad Cities and do manual labor until Red Auerbach called him out of the blue, and then, he hit the hit the Celtics, and then the rest is history. 5 championships and part of those great teams with Havlicek and Cowens and such. But it's really a tribute to the American spirit, and that's why, our country is, in my opinion, president-proof and everything other proof, because it's the mentality by which we approach life and in business and sports, and it's that never say die attitude. No matter what the odds are, you can overcome. That's really what's made him the man he is today.
Which is a beautiful segue to our final discussion point, and I want to talk about this brand new film and documentary that is out, The Other Dream Team. It's something very close to your heart. Tell us about it.
Well, it is the American dream. It's just happened in a country in Lithuania, and basically in 1992, little country of Lithuania, they called it the Runaway Republic, brought down one of the darkest political forces in history, the then Soviet Union, and it was Russian tanks rolling up the streets against single-shot rifles and dump trucks and pitchforks, and it was the way that our country was born. What happened was, in a weird, strange, wild trip, with a little touch from Jerry Garcia in the Grateful Dead, we ended up going to the Barcelona Olympics, winning the bronze medal against the unified team, which was the Soviet Union team, and as a tribute to the Grateful Dead, who not only gave us those crazy tie-dye t-shirts, but also helped financially get us from A to B, because the country of Lithuania was bankrupt. We wore tie-dye on the medal stand as a tribute to them, for believing in us when no one else would. So it's the story of the American dream. It's the story of, it's a tribute to the military, because what happens in that movie is what would happen to any freedom-loving country when the protection's taken away. And it's a tribute to all those things. It's a great movie. It's a documentary, as you mentioned. I was very, very proud to be, a fly on the wall of that whole experience, and it completely changed my life.
Who would have thought that the Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia would have been the 6th man, the 6th player out there on the floor with all the support that he's provided? And my final question for you is, how did that change you as far as personally, professionally, even spiritually, to go through something like that and have a deeper sense of awareness of the freedoms that we have in our country?
Well, I was a kid. I was in my, mid to early 20s, and all of a sudden you're taken from America and you're thrown into the Soviet Union, where there's no churches, there's no freedom. People are watched by the KGB and reported by other neighbors that it's about the most opposite situation that you can imagine. Where you've got no freedom. You're worried about public safety. You walk in public and such. It was very difficult, for folks back then that actually went through that. But I would highly suggest that if you're, young mom and dad, or have young kids, and you want to teach them about the price of freedom and what it's like, to be in a country that doesn't have the protections that we have and the freedoms that we have. It's a great movie, and the ending is the best, because today Lithuania is free to vote. They're their own country, and like I said, they brought down one of the darkest political forces in history, and it's just a great documentary.
Well, I'm a mother of 2 young sons. I definitely look forward to watching the film and having them be a part of it too. So Donnie, many thanks, and we look forward to the remainder of the season. Thanks, you.
Elissa.
Be sure and join us online at eradiosports.com for more exclusive interviews.